Today is the launch day of BI360 Cloud for budgeting. So specifically with BI360 Cloud for budgeting, how does it solve some of these typical pain that exists out there in people's budget processes? The biggest thing to highlight, I would say, is that we provide the best of both worlds. There's no doubt that most of the universe of finance and accounting people are extremely familiar with Excel. That's why so many budget models end up manually being built in Excel. So we have the actual budget input form design, just like our report writer, is sitting right in Excel. Now with BI360 Cloud, that Excel is communicating seamlessly up and down with the Microsoft Azure platform. So you'll see that today, how easy that is to design with the power of Excel, but totally rely on the cloud for data entry and sharing and security and everything else. The second item in best of both worlds is to be able to use a web portal, so just your browser in other words, for data entry and reporting. So any device, any location, any place with an internet connection, you can go in and do budgeting and reporting with BI360 Cloud. Finally, another important item is BI360 doesn't only have a budgeting database in the cloud where it stores your budgets and the related actual data, but it's actually a real data warehouse. Now, that's a cloud data warehouse. For those of you that know our on-premise version of BI360, that's an on-premise data warehouse. So we're talking now a cloud data warehouse that can consolidate any of your important data, whether that's coming from your ERP system, from your CRM system, from your payroll system, or specific industrial strength operational systems. We've spent 3 years building BI360 Cloud based on what we learned from BI360 on-premise, and yes, it is a true multi-tenant application running on the Microsoft Azure platform. It's designed in HTML5. What that means, it runs on any device. We launched BI360 Cloud Reporting in the spring this year, and that's what you see on the screen here. And we talked about the interface, the portal, how Excel interacts for design, the data warehouse, loading data, and so on. Today, we're going to focus on the cloud budgeting. So that's module number 2, you can say, sitting there in the cloud. And actually, later, when we get into next year, we'll also be enabling dashboards and interactive analysis as a third module. And you'll also be able to work with third-party dashboards very soon if you prefer so, like Power BI, for example. First thing to mention is you see the home page here. This is actually a customizable page. First menu item to show you is archive. We're going to return here specifically looking at this for budget analysis afterwards. Right now I'm just showing you the menu item. This is also very important for daily, weekly, monthly reporting. So it's a feature in the cloud, almost looking like an inbox where you can share reports with your other users with a very, very low cost user license associated with it. We also have our live reporting. So this is where you will design and manage all of the financial operational reports that you build with our report writer. Not really the topic of today. Today we're going to talk about budgeting. Then you have our budgeting menu. It's similar to the live reporting menu, but it's where you as a power user will design and manage all of the budget input templates. Finally, we have administration, which is where you manage user security. This is where you assign licenses to your users, what specifically they can do within the cloud. And then you have the very powerful database that's sitting underneath the BI360 Cloud, where you manage all dimensions, data loading. And the good news is it's very, very easy to do. You do not need technical expertise to do this. So again, you can put any data you want that you need for the budget process or for reporting into the BI360 Cloud.
This is our marketplace. This shows connectors that we currently have available. And we'll talk a little bit about other connectors later in this conversation. So today I'm just going to do a CSV file import. And I'm going to create that connector, and then it's going to ask me just to select the file. So I'm going to browse for the file. So I'm going to load in these two, which is basically sales information. So all I need to do basically for the system is just create the mapping, if you will, to each of these two, which the first one is going to be sales, the sales team, right? So salespeople, or I'll just call it sales team. And I'm going to select my sales dimension. And I'll click continue. And now it's going to connect to that file, and it's going to show me what I have available in that file. I can click preview if I want to take a quick look at if I have a lot of information in that file and I want to see, the different columns available.
So this could be from any system, really, these files.
Exactly. Because we're just consuming files, it can come out of any system. So this is the easiest or the simplest form of importing data. So all I need to do is simply drag and drop, and I'm mapping from this source over to the destination. And so what I'm doing at this point is actually creating the data warehouse structure just by dragging and dropping. So once I set it up the first time, the mapping, all I need to do is drag in a new file and run the integration, and it will do all the work for us. And now it's ready to roll. So all I need to do, if I'd like, is I can just run it real time. This will go out to our integration engine and start processing. We could schedule this to process or do anything with it. So it says success. I can come over to our overview page, and now I see I have a new module called sales data, and I have a new dimension called sales team, and there's my data. All the underlying transactions are in the system, and if we were to create reports on it or do any analysis of it, we would see all that data in there.
So it looks to me that you can really budget for any area of your business with this. You're not limited to budgeting just by employee for payroll or assets for CapEx budgeting or GL.
Exactly.
So here we are. This is the Excel template that we now copied, right, to the new one. On the left side of the screen, you can see how you access in a very friendly terminology, accounts and departments and anything else you want to use to build this template. So as you built it or done modifications to a template that looks significantly like the one you're going to build, all you have to do is hit that save button, and then you're going to get a little message, and this template is now successfully uploaded as a draft into our cloud. So it came down over the internet into my Excel, and then I modify it or make a new template out of it, and then I hit the save button, and it goes right back up to the cloud. So in the budget assignment, he can now go in and open it. And if he opens the budget assignment, it will then come up with any data that he's already entered. Let's look at other supplies first. So let's do some standard data entry. So this is what it will look like for your users in the forms you've assigned to them. So I'm going to enter, let's say, $2,000 there, and we can drag and copy just like you used to from Excel, even though you're not in Excel now, you're in the cloud, in the web portal. You can also even put in a formula. So let's say on this item, we want to do spreading. We want to put in, let's say, $12,000, spread it evenly. So we double click. And then the window opens up where you can do spreading. So here, let's put in $24,000, and let's spread that evenly. And you can see that spread evenly, and then we can close that, come back, and you see the numbers came there. Last thing I want to show you for data entry, let's double click again on this other line item. Let's say for this one, you want to do multiple detail line items that rolls up to your account level. So again, this window gives you great flexibility. It's a pre-built functionality in the tool here. So we can say here, let's say admin expenses, and that's going to be a bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, and then we can say other management expenses, like that. And then let's say here we want to actually use a spreading even at the line item level, and we're going to spread $4,000, you can actually make your own spreading methods too. So I made one here called Hot Summer, so like a seasonal spread. So we apply that, and then you can see the $4,000 spread, and it added to the first line item, and you get the total here. That is rolling up to my row. And you could also say that you want to put in a comment. So we'll say here, needed these items, like that. And then what we can do is say save. So what it's doing now is saving this into the cloud, of course. And now managers can start looking at this. Here I have a couple of examples of something pretty powerful. For example, being able to analyze and adjust the budget that's been submitted. In this case, remember we submitted the budget for Johnny end user. And now, like the message correctly says, this report or form might be out of date because it was executed earlier, and people might have been entering budget data recently. So we can hit run on this one. Notice I'm running it for Department 100, which is where we were in as Johnny end user earlier. But now I'm a budget manager wanting to review that. So you can go full screen here, like this. Now, if you remember, right down here, this was the third item that I budgeted for as Johnny end user, and I put in a comment. We can see that comment has popped right back up here in the read-only comment or read-only column. You can see that it's from the department head. And of course, I can add my own comments here in the manager's column so that you have multiple levels of comments. I could also do interesting things, watching multiple years of history here for this Department 100, prior budgets, current budget, and I can even go up and do global change. Let's say increase all of these expenses in Department 100 by 2%, or I can do changes at the line item level, dollar-wise, percent-wise, to arrive at the proposed budget. So we keep Johnny end user's budget like he entered it, but we can also have a proposed budget based on the top management suggestions. So after the step of doing budget adjustments and commentary by management, what would be happening then? Well, then typically you would do reporting, right? The good news is you have a fantastic report writer in BI360, just one click away from your budgeting. So let's say we want to do a quick budget, whether it's consolidated or for a single company. You come in like this, and here we see a typical report built with the BI360 Cloud report writer. You can see you can have a high degree of formatting. You can come in here, you can drill down by right-clicking. Goes and gets the detailed data on the second tab in there. You can print it, you can share it with other users, you can send it to your archives. You're going to move right on up to the archive function so that you get to see that a little bit more. I want to create something called a playlist, and I've already done that. So for budget analysis purposes, I have created 3 types of reports that helps me do very powerful analysis, and I put them into a budget playlist here, and I can now just click show playlist, and what it does, it puts all of those 3 reports up. You see here at the bottom of the screen. Here you can see I have report examples that I can help me analyze actual to budget, prior year, charts, numbers all coming together only the way that BI360 can do it. And finally, consolidating the budget if I have multiple companies, or of course across multiple departments. But let's say I need to go to the board of directors and present this budget, and I want it really summarized, and I want it in PowerPoint so I can add my own text and things like that. So what I could do is I can select this template in my budget analysis folder, and I could say download. And then when you do that, then you can come into a folder, but essentially where you have your reports that you exported with one click, linked into your favorite PowerPoint. So we're going to open this PowerPoint, and now it's going to open it up for us. There we go. And you now have a beautiful presentation. Like I said, I prepared this in advance. The magic wasn't what I had typed in here. The magic is the pieces of my reports. Remember, I showed you this one inside of the portal that now came in automatically with the latest, freshest numbers. So whatever type of reports or charts from BI360 that should be in your PowerPoint, that can come in like this. So that's going to be in your presentation. Mike, do you want to talk a little bit about the type of integrations we have and so on?
Certainly. So I showed you the marketplace where we post the integrations that we currently have, and we have a big laundry list of additional integrations that, or connectors as we call them, that we're building right now. So we've kind of organized this to focus on our file connector, which you saw. I showed you the CSV connector, and then our ERP connectors, because those are most important to most of you folks in terms of getting general ledger or subledger information into the data warehouse. And then, of course, other data connectors such as MSCRM or Salesforce or other data sources out there. So we're continuing to expand that list that we've made available through BI360 Cloud. But I do want to point out one very important item is the last one on there, which is our on-premise gateway. The purpose of this is a plugin that you put on-prem in your own data center, and then it gives you access to any data that you have internally. That could be files, it could be virtually any database engine that's sitting on-prem, and what it does, it creates a connection up to our cloud application so that you can move data direct from local data stores to BI360 Cloud.
Next month already you'll get advanced workflow. Here's a little sneak peek into that, where you'll see right there in the portal menu, you will have the option, if you have quite a few budget users, so that you want to turn on workflow to track every single user and all of the steps, you know, who has started, who hasn't, who's waiting for reviews, for approvals, and you can see percentages of everyone that's done that and who they are and so on and so on. There's even going to be a very cool chat. You see that on the right side of the screen, where if you just have casual questions and things like that, which is very different than the comment I showed you, where you're specifying a reason for, let's say, budgeting a certain expense. These are chats that you see in this particular example, where you can resolve questions you have and so on with the budget manager as you go along in the process. Well, thank you very much, Mike, and thank you very much to everyone that attended this webinar today. I know we had a large number of people on, so hopefully we were able to provide you some good value and some good insight into the BI360 Cloud for budgeting and what it is today, and also a little bit about the direction we're going. So thank you and have a great rest of the week, and we hope to speak with you soon.